Hey guys, Leona here with Empowering Wellness and happy terrific Tuesday. I'm Leona with Empowering Wellness, your shamanic energy healer and body worker, and I'm here to get you guys so excited and pumped about our special author, Dr. Ellen, joining us live for her amazing book, From Simply Surviving to Radically Thriving: 5 Steps to Unleash the Unstoppable You, which is so perfect timing because we have the Unstoppable You Summit coming up December 8th, where she's going to be one of our speakers in it. So I'm going to be sharing this into our group. If you are not part of our Empowering Wellness virtual book club, you want to make sure that you jump on over because we're going to have very empowering conversations in there, get to talk to Ellen herself. And I'm also going to share it into my Empowering Wellness regular group as well so that they don't miss it. And I'm just super excited to be having our summit come up. So if you don't know and you haven't heard anything about it, let me tell you about it. It's 5 days in the 5 areas of life, 5 speakers each day to becoming the unstoppable you. So of course, Ellen had to be part of Unstoppable Summit because she's got the steps to becoming it right here. Of course, we had to have her this month as our virtual book club going into next month before the holidays, because now is the time to truly set time for you to become unstoppable. Why? Because if you're going to start pouring into all the people, all the friends, all the family, all the things, and all your loved ones, you want to make sure that you're getting to pour from a full cup. Now, I know you hear that all the time, and you're like, really, Leona, how can I do it? Well, did you know that it only takes 2 minutes to regulate your nervous system with some deep breathing to change your state? Like sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to do it. And that's actually what I'm going to be talking about in the summit. It's about self-love, self-care. It has to start with you first. You have to take time for you. Otherwise, you cannot pour into your clients. You cannot pour into your friends and family. And so I thought it was the perfect time to take these next 5 weeks. So we're going to be meeting at 6 o'clock here every Tuesday to be able to meet with Ellen. She's going to take us through our awesome book. I'm sure she's going to give us some page numbers to reference. And I love that I have a You Are Awesome, like really cool thing here. Well, I can't think of what the yeah, page holder, right? So you can kind of see some of her pictures here with the little page holder. So if you haven't got your book, we have the Amazon link down there, and we want to make sure that you have it. And we also have the group to the group as well. So Ellen should be coming on here very shortly. And if you are listening, Ellen, you want to make sure that you hit join live on my live page. And I'm not seeing any viewers, so that means that you're not on there. So let me see if I can. All right, perfect. So she should be coming over just momentarily. I've shared it into the groups. You gotta love Mercury retrograde. Do we know that it's Mercury retrograde? If you don't, it is. It was not surprised when my flight was delayed. That happens. Flight flight delays, like travel plans delays, normal on Mercury retrograde. Um, Also, what's normal during Mercury retrograde is like communication, technology, glitches, things like that. So just have patience. I always say I'm becoming friends with technology. I'm not a friend yet. Friends with technology. I'm learning to be friends with technology. And other things that happen is really think about it. Mercury retrograde means going in back and reverse. It's all about time of reflection and being able to um, really reflect yourself. Um, Mercury retrograde is a perfect time for that because communication is going haywire. It's really important to make sure that you just take your time for you and you pause before you think, before you communicate, before you do things, and really make sure that you're coming from your heart space. So Ellen, I finally see that you're here. Amazing. So you want to make sure, yep, that you're requesting to join and I am approving, and then you should be jumping on. And it says adding, so we're going to hope that Mercury retrograde isn't going to, get too willy wonky for us. Remember, when we get onto the screen, we're going to be cut in half. So you're going to push your screen way back because that way we'll be able to see more of you. There we go. I love how it like cuts us in half. We're like, and we're two people.
Great.
It's like
Right,
me
let me
to
see if I
two.
can. There we go.
There we go. We did it. Mercury retrograde is not against us.
It's not. We're here.
We made
We're
it.
here. We made it. Perfect.
Amazing. Well, I was
I
just
just,
getting everybody a little information about the summit and how you're speaking at it, and that you're be going over the 5 steps to becoming unstoppable you, which is awesome because our summit is the 5 areas of life that are focusing on 5 speakers every day to becoming the unstoppable you. So of course this was perfect timing to have you as our featured author and book for the virtual book club these next couple months. Of course, it was all divine timing and perfectly made for you. So I was telling them that we're very excited to be having them in the summit. We'll be having you put your speaker link in the comments below because it is your book club this month. So anybody that wants to sign up, I want to make sure that they're signing up underneath you. So you'll put your personalized link to join the summit in the comments for today. And if you have any page references for us while we're going over anything in the book, tell us live and then also put them into the comments later so that way we can reference back. So we know that, day 1, week 1, that we'll have little reference notes in the comments of different pages and stuff for us to be able to do it. And of course, I have my beautiful pen that you have given me with the book so that I can take notes and all the things. So I'm so excited. So I'd like for you to officially introduce yourself to the Empowering Wellness Virtual Book Club, to my personal page with everybody that's been watching this replay, which becomes now a reel. So now all of our live videos become reels and people can watch them. So the
yay.
floor is yours. Tell us about all of your magic, my dear.
Well, Leona, first off, it's great to see you, my friend. Leona and I had so much fun in Orlando just a few weeks ago together. First time in person. So, really excited to be here again virtually. But that's our world today, right? Sometimes we're in
Mm-hmm.
person and a lot of times we're virtual. So it is really an honor and privilege to be here with you and with your community. And hopefully some of my community is joining in as well, um, because as one of us rises, we all rise. So anything that we can do to spread the word, to reach each other's audiences, I just think is amazing. So thank you for this opportunity. So a little bit about myself. I was born in Ohio, raised in Steubenville for most of my, well, all of my childhood, and then lived in Pittsburgh for a long time. I went to pharmacy school there, was a clinical pharmacist at hospitals for a number of years, WVU, Mercy in Pittsburgh. WVU, West Virginia University Hospitals in Morgantown, West Virginia, and then 2 hospitals in Pittsburgh, Mercy and Allegheny General. So, in case anybody in your group is medical and might know those institutions, that's my background. And then when my father died of cancer and emphysema in 1999, I realized that a lot of the medications we gave him were treating side effects of other medications, that most of the medications were treating symptoms, not doing nothing for the underlying disease state. And that's when I started to pivot to find out what is really causing illness and disease and how do we actually treat it. So I've studied a lot of different energy techniques and a lot of other healing modalities, as I know Leona is well trained in a lot as well. And this book is really a compilation of my personal journey to health and healing. Fortunately for me, I haven't had a lot of physical ailments. I've had some asthma. I'm right now dealing with osteoporosis and hypothyroidism, and still looking for ways to improve both of those. But what I really came up with from all of that, from my personal journey, has been more of an emotional healing. But these are the 5 steps, and they're in well, they're right before chapter 1 in the book. So they're right at the end of the introduction and right before page 1. So it doesn't have a page number. And you can get the handouts of my book separately. So if you'd like to print them and keep them somewhere where you can see them, I will put the link in later. Um, but the 5 steps are really, really powerful and important. And since I wrote the book, I have rearranged the chapter. Well, I haven't rearranged the chapters, but I have rearranged the steps to create the light formula. So my first step now, with being L, is self-love. So love yourself first. And that is actually chapter 3, and it is on page 41. So if anyone wants to turn to that page, if they have their book, they can do that. And loving yourself first. Um, One of my driving forces from the time I was in grade school is I read a lot about addiction. And it's always been an interest, even through my years of pharmacy, especially with pain management. How do you treat pain and give people who, are addicts pain relief without re- restarting their addictions? Um, And what I've come to understand through my reading of Bessel van der Kolk's Your Body Keeps the Score and Gabor Mate's work around addiction is I really feel a lot of it is um, self-medication. So it is a way of drowning the pain, the uncomfortable emotions, the things that we don't want to feel, that we push aside, that we push down, that we run away from, that we distract ourselves from. And when we do that, we're disconnecting from ourselves. We're disconnecting from loving ourselves and being in our bodies. And I know, Leona, you do a lot of body work with your massage and with some of your with your rad roller and a lot of your different techniques, and really getting embodied and feeling the feelings and getting through them, which is another chapter which we will be getting to in a couple weeks. That's step 2, so we'll get into that
Yeah.
next week. But really, I believe that if we truly loved ourselves, if we really truly took care of this body as the temple of our soul, if we honored and respected ourselves like we do everything else in the world, um, that I really believe that we would heal the trauma, we would heal those past wounds, we would heal those painful spots within us. And once we do that, I really believe that the addictions will resolve. And I have a story of someone in my Sunday school class. Her son was in a rehab program. He was supposed to be there a minimum of 6 months. They really suggested.
All right, guys, part 2 of our day 1 of our Unstoppable You 5 steps. We're starting off with step 1, 2, from simply surviving to radically thriving. We have Dr. Ellen with us, and it is Mercury retrograde. So here we are again. We're going to share it into the groups. We're going to hope that they're going to keep the internet connection this time, and Ellen's going to find her way back on with us. And, Ellen had such a good point. It all has to start with us. That's the reason in the Unstoppable You Summit, we started off with self love and that self reflection. Because if you are not working on you, then you can't show up for all the rest of the people. And, I do so much, self care and self love because, like she said, I've been doing the journey to the toes using my rad roller system. I'm a body worker, an energy worker for my clients because I want to pour into them and they can pour into themselves in order to get started. So it is all about starting with the self. And I love that how her step 1 of and our step 1 and our summit, our day 1, is self-love, because it does truly start with the inside. Now, we thought we were going to get away with Mercury retrograde not affecting our things, but somehow, for whatever reason, the universe was like, this is such powerful stuff, we need to hear it again. And so They
Yeah.
cut us off so that we could say it again. So, yes, truly, with
Yeah,
anything in the world, it starts with us first, right? Like you said, with
it
addiction, with
does.
healing. And if we're not covering what our stories are and what our learnings need to be and what it is for our healings for ourselves, we can't do anything else for anybody else because we're never going to be able to show up fully, completely in our own self if we don't start with us. So I love that you renumbered your steps and stuff started off with self-love first because it's all about us. And it's not selfish to be all about us. It's actually self-loving and self-devoted only allows you to show up better for everyone around you. It's actually the most selfless thing you can be doing is to heal yourself so that you can heal, as I say, 7 generations forwards and backwards. When we do the work ourselves, that only allows us to be able to help heal our ancestors, heal our family, heal our friends and family, right? When we raise our vibration, that raises the vibration around us. So, of course, it has to start with us. So,
Exactly.
back to
So
this
that brings me
story.
to I'll just wrap that story up really quickly. Unfortunately, her son came out of rehab early and was huffing and passed away. So and their program was really all about like breaking the dopamine habit, breaking these old patterns and these beliefs and embracing those inner voices within our head, the inner child, the ego, the critic that can tear us down. And there's another voice, and it's intuition. And I like to think that it's connected to our higher conscious mind, or if you would, God, source, universe, divine creation. And those other voices can get so loud that they drown out our intuition. And so I think part of learning to love yourself is learning to love those parts of yourself that have been critical, who think that you aren't enough, that you're not doing enough, or the inner child that's hurt and maybe throwing a temper tantrum that might be angry. And that anger can be a sign that you're doing more for others than you're doing for yourself. And so there all of these are learning opportunities. They're all opportunities to slow down, to take a breath, and to reconnect with ourselves and to figure out what it is that we truly need inside. And as Leona was talking about, self-love, fierce, radical self-love is embracing all of those parts of ourselves, the parts that we've pushed away, the parts that we don't want to be, the parts that we've seen and we're told we're bad. So we shy away from that. Or we were hurt by somebody, a parent, a teacher, a fellow student, somebody else. And we're like, well, we never want to be like that. So you make yourself smaller and smaller and embrace less and less of you and attempt to either be perfect or to be acceptable or to be lovable. And when we step back and we know that we're lovable just the way we were created, flaws and all, mistakes and all, to love ourselves through all of that, um, then the effects, and this is on page 43, the effects of self love go far beyond how you feel about yourself. When you genuinely love yourself, when you can genuinely embrace all of those parts of yourself and love them, you create healthier relationships, you make better decisions, and you approach life with more courage and resilience. And that is really my hope for myself, for all of us, is that by loving ourselves, we get stronger in what supports us and and in getting stronger in what supports us in saying no to what doesn't support us any longer and saying no to, you know, that second or third drink, that second or third piece of cake, that cake instead of a healthy meal. And not saying again that you have to be perfect, but it's about making the best decision in the moment that you can, tuning into that intuition. Um,
I think one of the best advice I ever heard from some healer friend of mine was no is a complete sentence. And for us, for caretakers, healers, people pleasers, people that are, ex people pleasers learning, no being a complete sentence, not like no and or no but just no.
Just no, no, or
That is
no.
a
Yeah, no is a complete sentence.
Mhm.
And yeah, I know for years I was a people pleaser, chameleon, peacekeeper. And some of those are great skills. And like anything, there's a positive and a negative, like a battery. There's a positive end and a negative end. And you can't say that one's better than the other because without them, the battery wouldn't work. So it's a matter of embracing both sides and finding that balance and I think the balance comes from acceptance and embracing all of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
acceptance. And then forgiving ourselves for not knowing any
Yes.
better before, forgiving ourselves for not having the lessons before or the tools and the knowledge, forgiving
Yes.
ourselves for just the unawareness. Like as we say in Genius Unlocked, you can't see the label from inside the jar. So if you can't see a different perspective than what you've been in your environment, what's been told you, your learned limiting beliefs, that thing you got told over and over again that was like that bad tape player that runs in your head, forgive yourself for that because you got to accept where you are now. And like us spiritual healers and people that are hopefully wanting to become unstoppable, we know that there's that little bit inside of it like wants more, that can be more, that can get to a better version of themselves, they can rise up like you said. And when one of us rise up, we all start to rise, and we start creating that ripple effect and that community and that connection, which is just so key and just so amazing. So yes, it's saying no to the things that aren't serving your highest and best and quieting those other voices that aren't serving you so that you can truly tap into that intuition and that higher self voice and that higher knowing and consciousness is, I think, just really such a great point to make for sure. I love that.
Thank you. And then I would like to point everyone to page 46. And this is my most fun exercise. I do it at least once a day, but when I got started, I was doing it every time I went to the bathroom and every time I looked into a mirror. And we can use well, we're not on Zoom, but we are on Facebook Live. So hopefully, if you can see yourself, I know Leona and I can see each other in our phones. We'll do the high five self love habit. And I'll do it once. And then, Leona, if you want, you can follow along with me. First, it is looking myself into the eye. And the case at home would be in a mirror, but here I'm going to look into my computer screen or my phone screen. And I'm going to use my right hand and say, I love you. Left hand, I love you. And then both hands, I love you. Looking myself in the eye and telling myself that I love myself. And some of you may be familiar with Mel Robbins' high five habit. And hers is just a high five in the mirror, looking yourself in the eye. And I've just taken it a step further with adding the affirmation of I love you and doing it 3 times because I think there's a power in three.
100%. And then if you think about it, right hand connects the left brain, like we do
Yeah.
alternating nostril breathing left to right. So you're balancing your hemispheres and then you're bringing it together in unison, right? The trifecta, that three. So, all right,
Yeah.
look me in the eyes, right? And I say, I love
I love
you.
you. I
I
love
love
you.
you.
I
I
love you.
love you. Oh, I love that. High fives and then high tens. Love
High
it.
tens. Yeah, double high five. Yeah. So, and then there are journaling prompts in the book. Um, and yeah, so I really, like you said, Leona, I rearranged it and created the light formula after the book was published. And I did that because I really do believe that self-love, of taking that time for yourself every day, even if it's just 5 minutes, or in the case of the self-love high five habit, just a few seconds, to really connect with yourself, to slow down and breathe and really tune in. Um, and then once you start building that foundation, then you can build into the other 4 steps. And next week we will be doing the inner check-in. So it is that slowing down, taking a breath, and really checking in with your body. The other thing my book has is journaling pages. So it was set up to be a 5-week program. So very much like our 5-week book club here. So I would love to hear from your audience how this lands with you. If there's something that you've heard tonight that you either have a question about, please put it in the comments. I will be looking at those and answering those. And then there are 7 journaling pages after each chapter. So you could start tonight and work through the 7 journaling pages if you have that. Um, if you have a copy of my book. If you don't, you can get it on Amazon, and we have posted the link on that. And if you get an ebook, which you could get immediately on Amazon, I can also put the journaling pages in. So I will make a note to myself to post the handout for the 3 graphics. So you can download the graphics if you'd like to have those, and then the journaling pages. So that you can print those out and get those and start using them if you have the ebook, because it's hard to write on a Kindle or an iPad reader.
Yes.
Um,
Um, I love that. And I would love to share number 5 of the self-love prompts so that if you are listening and you're following along and you want to
yeah.
do one of those before we get your book, number 5 is, what self-loving action will I commit to tomorrow? Consider small actionable steps you can take to reinforce your self-love practice. Whether it is a morning high five ritual, speaking kind words to yourself, or taking a moment for self care, each intentional action builds a stronger foundation of self love. Choose one specific action to prioritize tomorrow. So, I would love for, if your play work would so choose to be, is to have some fun with us, play along with us. And if you would put in the comments what you did for tomorrow that was your self-love thing, we can start sharing, and maybe we can write that prompt into the group, and then we can have people comment on that as well if they would like to share what they're doing, because I think sometimes we kind of forget what simple things could be done. And so if we're sharing these small little actionable steps with each other, I think that would create a great reminder of how easy some things can be, right? Like, one of my favorite things I remember saying is, like, I love a good cup of tea. I like the way it smells. I like the way it feels. I like to have like a cup that has, some fun kind of slate, saying on it that you're reading. Even just taking an intentional 5 minutes of breath work and breathing in your tea and taking that time before you look at the phone, before all the things, doing a list of gratitude in your head. I'm so grateful for this cup. I'm grateful for this tea that's nourishing my body. I'm grateful for the heat that's warming my body. I'm grateful that I was able to have the money, the wealth that came into this tea, the journey of the people drying the leaves. Like, you could literally create just a 5-minute gratitude practice, and bringing that self-care and that self-awareness into those moments. It doesn't have to be, like she said, something huge. It could be something so small, that can really take that time of just showing your body, right? Our brains need that reinforcement. Our minds, our body need that reinforcement, that self-love, that self-care, that time dedication to us before we pour into everybody else. So yeah, I'd be curious to see what everybody chooses to do for tomorrow, and then they can put those into the comments.
That would be great. I would love to have the interaction. And I think also, as you were saying about community, sorry, my camera looks really dark. So I'm going to back up a little bit and see if I can get a little bit more light on my face. Um, that's why I do a bi-monthly self-love tune-up call, which Leona has actually been on as one of my guest speakers, and really appreciate that. Um, because we can support each other, and so oftentimes we get into habits and patterns, and we think that that's all we need to do, or we feel so overwhelmed and exhausted we don't feel like we can take on anything else. And that is my goal with this, from simply surviving to radically thriving, the 5 steps to unleash unstoppable you, is that we regain that energy, we regain that momentum, and giving up something to put something in that gives you energy and brings your light forward and gives you more radiance. It doesn't have to be a really big thing, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. And when we share, we get ideas from each other, and something that somebody else is doing, whether it's dancing, whether it's doing the high five habit, having 5 minutes of gratitude with a hot cup of tea, or even a hot cup of coffee, if you're coffee drinkers, or just 5 minutes walking out in nature, walking into maybe your backyard if it's a green space, or finding a tree to go stand in front of or lean up against. It doesn't have to be something that takes a lot of time, but can regenerate you and increase your energy, and then you have more energy to go about the rest of your day, versus just pushing through and pushing your body and just making it more and more exhausted. And a lot of times eventually your body may fight back, as I'm sure you see a lot in your clients with your body work,
Hmm.
of people that have just kept pushing and pushing and then end up with physical ailments that end up stopping them.
Yeah, it was interesting. One of my clients, she's new, and she was like, "Wow, I didn't realize a massage could make me feel this good. Like I slept better, and I had more energy the next day." And she's like, "I just feel overall relaxed." And she was like, "I never thought a massage could do that." And she was like, "I want to get my husband in next." And I always say, like, the greatest thing as a thank you for a healer is to have a referral for someone. And the fact that she was like, "Now I want to get my husband in to see you," I was like, amazing. Yes, let's get him in for a massage and stretch. I got an opening at the end of the week on Friday, and we locked him into an appointment. And I think it's because, she didn't realize until you take the time to actually pour into how much your body actually really needs it, right? Like the book says, the body keeps a score. The body holds on to all the emotions. That's why people tell me all the things on the table. It's because we're releasing all the things that they need to say and be seen and be heard and be cared for, because they're doing it for everybody else. And I think that that's one of the key things to remember is, how do you make the time for yourself? Well, you just do it like you would anything else, because you're valuable and important. And then that's why this shirt says you are enough.
I was going to comment on that. I know right on my screen it's looking backwards,
Hmm.
but I can read it.
Yes.
I'm
Uh-huh.
not sure I can read that. Dear person
No.
behind me, oh, I've
Hmm.
I've seen this before.
Yes.
The world is a better place with you in it.
Hmm.
And I can't read the small print on the bottom,
Yes.
but
And I think
the
it says,
world is
like,
a
if
better
you,
place, and the world
hmm,
needs each and every one of our lights, and we're all
yeah.
unique and we're all different. So it's not about finding some prescription or the right thing to do, or the right thing that I did may not be the right thing for you.
Hmm.
And that's why I give you suggestions and guidance of some ideas of what to do. And the sharing in the community is just really, really valuable. So I'm looking forward to hearing what everyone is doing to love themselves just a little bit more today and tomorrow.
Yes, I love that. And so until next week, we encourage you, if you haven't gotten your book, to get it, to start your high fiving, to be able to start your high fives and tens in there, to bring in that self love and self care, and know that you're worthy and deserving of this time, and that you for sure are going to have the keys that you need by the end of these 5 weeks, and so much gem and knowledge and key points that Dr. Ellen is going to give us through this journey. And we're so excited to be in this journey together, because that community, there's power in that witnessing, right? To witness each other in the healing and the journey and the expression and the healing is just so key. And I'm so grateful and thankful to have all of you guys here on our magical 5 week journey. So let us know what comments you have, what questions you have, how we can support you, and what you'll be doing tomorrow. If you already know it, you could put it in now, or you can message in the morning to let us know. And we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Same time, same bat channel. We're going to go live in my Facebook group, and then we're going to stream it into the groups, so that way you have it in there, because that's the way Facebook does things now. And then this will be turned into a reel, and you'll get to rewatch it and comment and all the things. And hopefully Mercury retrograde will allow us to do one video next week.
Yay. Well, look forward to seeing you all next Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Peace and
Blessing.
namaste.
Namaste.